Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Piyush Kumar, the founder of Router Sports, which is a game streaming platform and esports community. Piyush is a graduate of Delhi University and has worked for companies such as FCB Ulka, Dish TV, and the Swatch Group before starting his own venture, Router. Hi Piyush, welcome to ELI.
Hi Priya, thanks for inviting me here. Good to meet you. Look forward to our discussion.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Okay, so my name is Piyush. I'm the founder and CEO of Router. We are India's largest game streaming platform, which is connecting and creating one of the biggest communities in gaming in India. We have been building Router for more than last 5 years. Before that, I was head of marketing for Swatch Group, which is a Swiss watch company for 5 years. I worked with Dish TV during the high definition launch for 2.5 years. And then I spent my formative years in advertising. So yeah, I look forward to the conversation here. It's been a great journey so far. I hope we can have a good discussion and share some interesting insights for all of you.
Sure. Why don't you tell us a bit more about routers? What is it into? What is the current scale of operation, and anything else you want to share?
So Router is a game streaming platform and also an esports streaming platform. We basically are one of a very integral part of the gaming revolution that you see in India, where more than 400 million people are playing different kind of games. So what is happening in the gaming industry is that India's gaming industry has evolved quite a lot from a very casual, gaming market for about a decade to a pretty serious and a very career-oriented gaming market ever since PUBG was introduced in India.
Hmm.
So PUBG represents a gaming genre or first-person shooter category, which kind of revolutionized the gaming industry since 2018.
Mhm.
And what Router does is Router is a game streaming platform. So we basically are a platform on which a lot of gamers come to watch other people play, and a lot of gamers come to stream their games. So whenever they're playing a game and if they're good at it, they stream it there. So it's basically a content platform, a much important part of the overall gaming industry. Besides game streaming, we also do multiple esports tournament. We have multiple esports IPs. We also do a lot of weekend gaming programming. And the idea here is that we basically want to build the biggest gaming community in India, which will pretty much have a lot of connections and will create a very strong network over the next almost 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Now I'd be very interested to know about the story of router. How did it all start, and what was the idea initially?
So Router started in 2016 with a core idea of building a tech platform that will connect people with each other. Initially, we were not building it for gaming audience. We were building it for sports audience. During that time, we basically did multiple features along which sports fans could connect with each other, could have interaction while the live matches are going on. So we did this for about 3.5, 4 years, and we were doing pretty well in 2019 when we built various features which were about sports fans expressing themselves with live audio and live video features. So people doing commentary, people doing quizzes, people discussing their fantasy teams. But we understood that sports is going to be, that there are a lot of challenges in the sports industry, particularly with respect to the way the sports calendar is. India is all about cricket, right? And cricket is not very regular. Team, I mean, Indian team plays, everything is good, but when they're not playing, things do become a bit, stable. And the idea here was that we were looking for an opportunity which could build a large business. And that is when we spotted gaming in the end of 2019. And when the COVID lockdown happened, we took it as an opportunity to launch our game streaming service. And yeah, since that launch, we have had a huge scale. We have added close to 20 million users. We are growing very fast. We are the #1 app on Google Play Store. So yeah, it's been a great journey, particularly over the last 18 months. I mean, I can say that we found a product market fit over the last 18 months. And yeah, this is a platform. From here we'd like to build it to a much larger platform now.
What made you to leave your corporate career and start a venture that too in gaming?
Well, for me, I've been working in the corporate sector for almost 13, 14 years before I turned an entrepreneur. And it was very important for me. So my corporate career was a great learning experience. I worked with some very good companies, Swatch Group particularly, the biggest luxury company in the world. What I really wanted to do was to use my experience of working for more than a decade with different companies to build my own company, build my own product. These were the days when startup industry was coming up, and I really wanted to, build a platform that will connect people. I strongly believed in the entire, social circle which was changing around us with the usage of Facebook, Instagram, multiple platforms, and I thought, building different communities with people with different interests will be a great idea. So it was just a drive for me to build something of my own, the entire innovation part of it, and yeah, that's how I took a plunge.
Okay. When you build something, you cannot do it alone. You need a team, or at least a team of co-founders to build along with you. So, can you tell us about the initial team who, or the, if I may say, the initial set of people who came together to help you build your vision?
So yeah, you're absolutely right. This is something that you can't build alone. So I decided to have few co-founders in my journey. I had a co-founder who helped me during the MVP product phase back in 2016. He left us early in 2017. Then my co-founder was Akshat, who was the tech guy who started to help me build this particular platform, and Dipesh, who joined us right after his computer engineering from Jadavpur University, and he became a co-founder in 2018. But Akshat also left after a certain point in time, and it is Dipesh and me who have actually worked together for the last 5.5 years to take the product from a sports product into a gaming product, and to now achieve quite a bit of growth. So it's been a quite a mixed journey in terms of co-founders that I've had, uh, but it was Dipesh who really helped me scale this over the last few years. And besides us, we have a very strong leadership team. There is Akshay who looks after the entire content and community. There is Sagnik who is a CTO, and now we are a 50-member team. So you're right that it is actually the team that takes forward the entire dream and journey together. And yeah, it's been quite a good journey.
When was the point when you started making money to sustain the team and the operations? And before that point, how did you manage the funds?
No, so we have been raising funds right from day one. We raised a seed round back in 2016, which started with Baman Irani, the Bollywood actor. We raised money from Intex. We raised money from few other angels, few friends. Then in 2018, we raised money from venture capitalist Lead, which is a German fund, um, Antil Ventures, and few other angels. And then 2020, we raised money from Paytm, Lead, again, Founder Bank Capital, and then we raised another round with friends and family early this year, with a few friends, with few family offices. So raising money is an integral part of building a company because you require a lot of capital, particularly when you're building a tech product. But for us, we have been making revenue since 2017. So even if the revenue was as less as 5 lakh or 10 lakh rupees, we were consistently making money since 2017. Our revenue started to scale up from July this year, where we introduce all the revenue models, and that is how we started to do it. So now we are on a monthly revenue rate of almost $200,000, and annual run rate of close to 2.5 million ARR. But it's been a mixed journey as far as revenue is concerned. But gaming is a very monetizable industry, and we are at a stage, and we are the only platform in the industry which is monetizing it.
Okay. If I'm asking from a layman's point of view, how do we actually make money?
Well, it's basically Router is basically a platform which is a content platform. So people spend a lot of time over here creating and consuming content. So we monetize them in multiple ways. Number one is advertising. Advertising is a given mode of monetization, particularly in gaming, because in gaming people spend a lot of time. So you can easily monetize them through advertising. We then monetize them through performance marketing, where we work with all the top 45, 50 apps in the country who advertise on Router and get downloads. So we get paid on each and every download and each and every registration. So that's the second way of monetization. Third is we have esports, competitions, and we have multiple gaming IPs which are sponsored by different brands. And fourth is the entire user monetization. So we have created a marketplace under which people can buy different router diamonds, and that is how we make money through users. So there are 4-5 different monetization models. All of them are working well for us.
So now that you have reached so far, what is the roadmap ahead? Where you want to go in next 5 years time?
Well, at this stage where we stand today, we have the potential to be the largest gaming company in the country, with respect to the number of users that will be using Router over the next 5 years. So we want to cross 50 million users by the end of 2023, and hopefully be near 100 million users by 2024, 2025. At that stage, we would have a large audience which will be using and engaging with different games. So that gives us an opportunity to also be a gaming publisher at a certain point in time. From a revenue perspective, we are building a huge marketplace, which essentially means right from different gaming coupons, gaming currencies, to different gaming accessories, different games that people can buy from routers. We'll also be building a large gaming marketplace. And yeah, at a certain point in time, once we see that there's an opportunity to go out of India in different markets, that is also something that we will explore.
What are the different challenges that you have faced so far while building and growing this venture?
Well, there are multiple challenges that comes when you're building a tech company. The first and the foremost one is finding the right product market fit. It is something that takes sometimes a lot of time, and sometimes you find it very early. For us, it took some time. We were able to consistently build a product until we found it in 2020. So finding the right product market fit is very important. Second is raising capital, which is something which is very crucial, particularly if you're building a tech product. So you have to raise capital at different point in time. Your storyline has to be very, very clear. But it's always a very difficult, it's not very easy to raise capital at different stages, but we were able to get backup from the right supporters and the right investors. Third is finding the right team. It's I think the most important challenge and most important thing of building a company right now, given the way talent is in demand in the market right now. So building the right team is very important. And fourth is monetization. I think it's any product that doesn't have a vision for monetization doesn't go a long way. So for us, it was very important to do it early. And yeah, it's been like that. So these are the 4 challenges we faced.
You mentioned about a pivot that you did from sports to esports. So to achieve product market fit, you have to do a lot of pivots. Can you give us examples of what all pivots that you have done throughout your journey?
We have done few pivots, but I think the most important pivot was when we moved from sports to gaming. One of the most important KPIs that any product should look at is retention. And for us, retention wasn't scaling as long as we were a sports product, even with the best of features. So what we did is we basically, introduced gaming in a certain way, and we decided to see how retention can improve. And once we saw that retention was much better for a gaming audience than a sports audience in 2020, that is how we completely pivoted out of sports into gaming product. So, there are different KPIs that one should chase to find the pivot. Sometimes it is revenue, sometimes it is growth. For us, growth and retention kind of scaled up with the gaming pivot.
Speaking of KPIs, can you tell us what is the North Star metric for you? What do you chase, or what do you look at on a day-to-day basis?
Well, for us, there are 2-3 North Star metrics which we chase pretty consistently. One is growth. We are a product which is pretty viral. We are the number 1 app on Google Play Store in the sports category, which basically means we are growing very fast and also very viral. So growth is very important. How many number of downloads we can get in a day is a very important KPI. It ranges from anything between 70,000-80,000 to 130,000, 140,000 downloads. Second is retention is very crucial, right from a D1 retention to D7, D15, going up to month 6. It's something that we chase very, very closely. Third is, most importantly, what is the monetization we are able to do per DAU is very important. So we also track it very, very closely. So these are the 3 metrics primarily what we look at while we are scaling Router.
Any growth hacks that you have tried and been successful at during your journey?
There have been many growth hacks, one of which I can talk about is the fact that when you are looking to grow a product, particularly a B2C product or an app-based product, the virality of the product is very important for it to succeed. And for us, we actually cracked a very significant growth hack in form of invites. So we formed a way in which a lot of users were inviting their different friends and different network people, which is something that really worked for us. And that is what helped us get the first 15-20 million downloads in the gaming journey over the last 1.5 years. So this was one growth hack that really worked. And the second growth hack that worked for us was primarily the community, which is the community of streamers. So we got a lot of streamers who were able to get their followers or get their fans on the app. So these are the two growth hacks that really worked.
Okay. Now going towards the personal side of being an entrepreneur, tell us, how do you stay energetic throughout your entrepreneurial journey? And why I'm asking this is, sometimes being an entrepreneur can be hectic, and there will be instances where you may feel tired, restless, or burned out. So how do you manage such situations?
Well, there are different ways that you're right that entrepreneurship journey is not easy. I always say that there are 4 or 5 bad days in a week, but there is one good day that should keep you channelized or should give you the energy to see through the week. For me, what really works is I play a sport every day. I make it a point that between badminton, squash, and tennis, I at least go out and play for 1 hour. That helps me stay positive. That helps me cut off from the normal work and focus on the game. Most importantly, that helps me keep physically fit, which is very important when you are an entrepreneur or building anything, or for that matter, doing anything in life. So that is one thing that I do. I have a son who's now 5.5 years old, so I try and spend a lot of time with him. He's a great stress buster. He's a great friend, and whenever I get an opportunity, I try and travel, even if it is just for 2 days or 3 days around the city. I try and take off some time, go on the highway, spend some time over there. So it's very important to balance your personal and professional life. When you're an entrepreneur, you can't just keep giving time to your work, because one thing people have to realize that it's not a 1 or 2 year old journey. It takes almost 7 to 8 years to build a decent company, and you need to have a right stamina, right? You need to have the right focus. So you need to look at a long term game. I mean, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. People would have heard, but I've lived it through. So it takes sometimes 5 years to get to a stage where the business is very, very substantial.
Okay. What did you say is the meaning of on the term entrepreneur? How do you define entrepreneurship?
Well, entrepreneurship essentially means that in the world where we live in, you as an entrepreneur, you're trying to bring in something new. So for me, entrepreneurship always means that there is a new opportunity for something to build up. It may not be the new idea, it may not be a new platform, it may be something that you're doing what you've seen in other markets or something, but for the world that you live in, you're trying to bring something new, which I think is the real meaning of entrepreneurship.
Okay. Now time for the last question I have for you. Tell us about the different lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur, which we can take away and apply to our ventures and our lives as well.
So there are many lessons. We spoke about it over the last half an hour or so. I think the first and the foremost lesson is that this is a journey that takes a bit of time. So you need to have a lot of patience. You need to have a lot of inner strength to go through the time till your product starts to scale up. And when it scales up, also you need to be very patient of raising capital, having monetization, and few other things. So patience is one. Second is entrepreneurship has no shortcut. There is no there is no faster way to build and succeed. It's a lot of hard work that goes into it, because you're trying to come out of the way, and it's not your job where there are a lot of people who are trying to help you do it. It's basically something that you start as a founder and then take help of your team and many other people. So you need to therefore work very, very hard. There is no shortcut to that. Third is having the right knowledge of technology is very important. In today's day and age, very few companies are being built outside technology. Even if there are a few companies which have a different kind of a product, they use technology for distribution or multiple other things. So having a very tech oriented approach is very, very important. You need to be aware about what is happening around. And fourth is you need to build the right team. There's just no other way to do it. You cannot do it alone. So at every stage, you need to get the right set of people in your team, right from your first co-founders to different people. So yeah, these are the four lessons that I can talk right away. Otherwise, I mean, there are a lot of things that we can talk, but I think these are four things that everybody should keep in mind.
Well, with this note, we have come to our end of this session. It was a pleasure to have you here at ELI. Thanks for your time, Piyush, and our best wishes for Router Sports.
Thanks, Priya. Good to talk to you. And I hope everybody enjoyed our conversation. Bye.